Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar info session for the the Human Resource Management Programs Information Session here at California State University, Dominguez Hills. My name is Anissa Barton Thompson, and I'm the social media specialist for the College of Extended and International Education here at CSUDH, and I'll be your host for this presentation. So welcome. This webinar is being recorded and will be available on our website and our social media resources shortly after today's session. Feel free to download the Human Resource Management Programs Information Kit for details about the program and additional resources covered in today's webinar. That address is bit.ly/CSUDH-HRM-info-kit. Now, we have provided a link in the chat for those who are participating live. It will also be available in a follow-up email to attendees as well as on our website. Now, before we jump in, I'd like to review the Zoom controls. This session is being presented in a webinar format, so you won't need to worry about connecting your microphone or your camera. However, we want your participation. So help us address your needs. Use that Q&A button at the bottom of your screen if you're joining us from the Zoom desktop app or the web browser, or in the top right of your screen if you're on a mobile device. Now, please ask your questions in the Q&A panel rather than in the chat panel. That chat panel is going to be used to provide you with helpful links and other information. Once you click that Q&A button, a dialog box will open allowing you to type your question. Our marketing staff members, Stephanie Bukian and Keith Otterberg, as well as our program director, Elizabeth Legg, are standing by to assist you. We'll be answering those questions at the end of the session, although often you may find that the question you have has been answered during those program overviews. So with that being said, let's begin by meeting our certificate faculty who will introduce you to the program via an overview of benefits, expectations, and course details. Then we'll go over the registration and login information and address your questions in the Q&A session. And now to kick off today's presentation, I'll turn it over to Jen Perez, one of our 4 insightful instructors for the program. Jen, take it away.
Thank you, Anissa. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our information session today. We are excited that you're able to make it here today. And to kick it off, I am the first one on this picture. My name is Jen Perez. I am an alum here at Cal State Dominguez Hills. I actually am an alum from my bachelor's program and the certificate program, and I found it worked wonders for my career. So I'm super excited to have you here today and share my stories with you. Right next to me in the photo is Jim Vigneault, and at the end is Lina Nespole. These two together have over 50 years of insightful background in human resources and have worked at various capacities in the HR field. And I'd like Jeanie to introduce herself.
For a little over 16 years, and I've been involved in the HR industry for over 25 years. I'm a certified HR professional. I have a background in recruiting, in HR management, and I was involved with defense contracting. That was my last position before I came to Cal State Dominguez Hills. I'm an HR consultant. I deal with small to mid-sized companies, and I've met so many wonderful people. It's truly, truly a pleasure to be in the Cal State Dominguez Hills HR community. And now, Jen, take over.
Thank you, Jeanie. So let's talk about a little bit about the industry outlook now. So in human resources, there are many statistics and articles about the HR industry. The common thing that you will find is that they all show that the careers in HR are trending upward and shifting. The economy and the labor force continues to be reshaped. This creates massive changes in how we work and where we work. These changes are escalating the importance of HR's role within the organization. Workers turn to managers and HR for guidance on various issues, such as mental health, diversity and inclusion, career paths, training, etc. The umbrella is huge. Based on the Bureau of Labor Statistics, HR professionals rank 35th out of 800 jobs. The Wall Street Journal reports HR is one of the fastest growing fields in the US and is projected to grow by 7% faster than the average of all occupations. The demand for HR continues to grow, and with that, the salaries also. So it is a great time to be in the field. Let's look at a bit of history of our program. So the program at Cal State Dominguez Hills was created in 1996 by our very own Jim Vigneault. He has always had a passion for ensuring HR professionals are at the top of their game. His passion and drive resonated that he was asked to create the HR program for Cal State Dominguez Hills. His goal was to cater to everyone and wanted to make sure that the program was for everyone, meaning it is a program that fits all levels of career, whether entry level, experienced, mid-level, or just for professional personal growth. As instructors, we are all very proud to be part of this program because it continues to be relevant and consistent with all the changes over the years and even daily. We try to be the best and always on top of the current trends and policies, so you take with you information and tools to grow your knowledge and your career path. What audience is this for? As I mentioned earlier, it is for everyone. Anyone new to human resources or management, or anyone that is super experienced, mid-level, or anyone that just wants to understand it so they have a better idea of business. It is a program tailored to all learning needs. The practicum here, this program is geared to be practical hands-on learning, which means you're not just reading books or taking theories out of the books. We actually have in-class discussions that we explore theories and legislations and have fun with it. We work with case studies and allow for a lot of participation. This allows for everyone to practice dealing with the issue so you can take this back to your workplace and have a better feel of how to handle things. And I found it leads to a lot of great discussions and many light bulb moments. Your return on your investment is really high. This program has tremendous high value because the knowledge and tools you walk away with can be put immediately to work. As an instructor, I'm excited when I hear how students immediately go back to work and are able to apply what has been discussed, or how they never thought about it that way, or are now able to review the documentation and make the corrections needed to be compliant in their organization. You will walk away with being able to review and put together a handbook or a compensation plan, or an employment application that is compliant and ready to use. Also, how to review and build your own job descriptions. The do's and don'ts of interviewing. There is just so much more we cover. Another plus is the networking and hearing other real life stories. You will have a network to reach out. Just hiring an HR consultant for your organization costs you thousands of dollars. You can be the hero for your organization because you will be able to do the work yourself. We are current, compliant, and consistent. Being in this industry and having the responsibility for different organizations and our students, we ensure we stay compliant and current by continuing to educate ourselves. We all have different teaching methods, but we always communicate with one another so we are consistent and ensure that the materials you are being taught are current and consistent with what is going in the industry today. We are CEU based, which means we have our grading system is a credit, no credit, meaning you attended the courses and participated. At the end, you receive certification. And if you are already certified in human resources, this is a program for you because it counts towards your recertification maintenance. Now, an overview of our certificate programs. In our program, we have 4 different courses. We have our Human Resources Management Certificate Program, which is our foundation. We move into our Human Resources Business Partner because that elevates you a bit more. So once you learn the basic foundation, you become the business partner. We have our management and supervision to teach our supervisors, regulations here in California, as well as how to be that manager and team partner for the organization. And we have our SHRMPrep course that'll help you prepare for your testing and make sure that you're certified at the end. So let's go into each of these a little bit deeper. Before that, let's talk about our schedule delivery. Okay, so our classes currently are offered online. We still have not gone back in class sessions, so we are still currently offering online sessions and via Blackboard and Zoom. Now, we offer our classes on weeknights and some Saturdays as well. Typically, they're about 3-hour sessions. Our Saturday classes are a little bit longer, and we offer one night a week or the Saturday. We are scheduled year-round, so we go through all sessions so that you can take these classes and whatever is your leisure. And now we'll go into a little bit more about our programs. So let's talk about our HR Management Certificate Program. Now, I said this was a foundation. So what we first start discussing is establishing our HR systems. What we go through in here is we talk about the role of HR and how it has evolved over time, how regulation started in late 1800s to now, the evolution, and why we are here now and why we do what we do. We talk about talent acquisition principles because people are the most important part of our organizations. So we need to understand, how we recruit them, how we interview them, and we put the right people in the right place. Performance reviews. The performance of individuals is very important for the organization to succeed. So we will review this, practice them in class, talk about questions, how we review them, and how we review them in a way that we are able to make our employees grow and become better. We will tab on a little bit about labor and employment relations, so we can discuss a little bit about union environments and how they also affect the non-union environments. Very fun class. Once this session is over, we go into our total reward session. Now, our total reward session is super fun. I love it because we really do a lot of lab work and we put together a compensation plan. So to begin, we will say, what are the foundations of total rewards? What does it mean, total rewards? And we know it deals with compensation and benefits and incentives you give employees to keep them motivated. So we will discuss that. We will go into building a pay system so that you can know and understand why a certain individuals are paid a certain rate depending on the city, the location, where they are. And you can take that back to your workplace and put it together. So it's a lot of fun. We also go into job descriptions. We'll have you either review some you currently have or build some from scratch so you can take a practice and see what is proper to have within your organization. Very fun. In the end, we do a lot of presentations and people are super excited. And I love to hear the stories like the following week when they go and they actually implement it in their workplace. Very exciting. So the next 2 sessions we have in our HR Management Certificate Program, we dive into the law aspect of it. So we will discuss workplace compliance. So we get into a little bit of discrimination laws and how we comply with that. We look at management systems and investigations and corrections. It's important that whenever anything happens in the workplace, we have to look at the investigation first piece to get the information. So we will discuss the proper way of doing that. Leaves management. Leaves, as we know, there are so many out there. A few new ones were put in place this year. So we would discuss that with you and how they intertwine and mesh together so that you are able to take it back and make sure you're in compliance with dealing with leaves in the workplace. During these 3 sessions, we actually go through case studies so you can actually practice them and think outside the box how you would apply these issues daily in your workplace. The last night is really fun. We have a labor attorney that is part of our board, and he donates his time to us to come to the class, and he will answer any question that you have. And he's very funny, very well knowledge in the industry. So it's a very nice class in which you will have an attorney at your hands for one night. Our communication dynamics class, we have 3 sessions in that one. And communications is very important overall within an organization, in our departments, dealing with people, and just dealing with the outside world when we deal with society. So we will go over proper communications. We will go over being persuasive and how to get the ideas you want across so that people will listen, and how to be able to communicate with your employees so they understand why policies are put in place, why changes are being made. And at the end, we go through a fun exercise, super fun. We call our bank robbery. You will have to solve this case, and very fun to see how everyone interacts and they work together as a team. So this is our HR certificate course, our foundation. Let's discuss our business partner course. So from foundation, we go into our business partner. Now in the next level of our human resources career, we want to understand how to be that partner, how to be able to know what it is, the business. So we talk about learning the business that you're working for. What does it do? How does it do it? The customer base, what their goals are, what they want to attain, where they want to reach, so that you're aligned with them. And now we want to build our talent pipeline. So not just have people that are there, but also look in the future and see how we can have people that want to apply for us. How are people seeing us outside, that we actually have people that are coming to us and want to work for us and have, good say in the industry about our company. We talk about onboarding and engagement of the employees. We know it's real important. As for ourselves, when we hire on new, we want to be onboarded properly. We want to meet everybody, have a nice vibe, and be able to know who our boss is, what our roles are, and what we do. So we go into that in the proper ways of doing this. And how to earn your CC trust. So, yes, we're in the HR department. Yes, we understand the business, but how do we persuade our C-suite to really know that, hey, HR has good ideas. We need to listen to them more often and have them engage in our meetings and have them participate and help us build what we want for our future. Metrics and analytics, very important. We utilize them every day in our own lives. So we need to understand what's the importance of metrics and analytics within our own organization. So we talk about being able to identify which ones are most important to you. Costing and budgeting, very important to know, hey, what is our budget and what can we spend? As we know, HR usually is kind of the department people see as we're an expense, but we really bring in a profit because we have the people, okay? The next two sessions within the business partner certificate is developing the partnership. So now we understand the business, now we want to develop. So we talk about training. Training is real critical and important. By taking these courses, you are training yourself. So which means you are advancing. You want to advance your employees. You want to train them to be able to grow within your organization, become better, or for whatever the job may be next that you're applying them to. Coaching is very important within the organization, so employees know what's the best way to act, how to move forward, how to grow. So you want to be able to coach them properly. We'll go through tactics on that, play some scenarios with that, counseling employees as well. And we've got to remember, counseling is not just because they did something bad, but we want to counsel them so they can improve and do better. Succession planning, as society is constantly changing, so our organization, and it's real important to tap into your employees and see, hey, who's going to fit in that next level? Who's going to take the role of the CEO when they retire? Who's going to take the next role? So, we're preparing them. We're seeing who has those skills, and we want to be able to prepare them so in the next few years, they're stepping in and you don't have a gap. And again, performance is real key. So we'll talk about managing performance of your employees, of your department, and of the organization. Then we go into our last sessions, which we work the partnership. Now we're managing our projects. We're moving forward. We have the trust. We have the programs in place. So we want to make sure we execute on time. And change is constant, we know, so we're constantly changing within the organizations. We want to make sure that we manage that properly and we work with our management, our CEOs, to be able to have a good change management, because if change happens incorrectly, many people will just lose their motivation and not want to see why we're really doing this. So you want to be able to act right with it. Ethics and human resources is the most critical thing. So we go over ethics, we review your policies, so we can understand that. And then again, we touch bases on our labor and management relations. So we want to talk about a bit about union versus the non-union section. So we will actually look into a plan, a proposal, so that we just get an idea and a feel of it. And with that, a lot of fun here, but I'm going to go ahead and change it over to Jeanie, and she will talk about our management and supervision.
Thank you very much, Jen. Hello, everyone. This program is an 8-week program consisting of 2 modules. There are 4 sessions each. This course is designed for anyone who is either a new or a seasoned manager, or an individual who wants to learn what being a manager is all about. The roles and functions is the first session in this program, and we first define the term management, and then we segue into defining the term manager, outlining distinctions between leaders and followers, in terms of relevant tasks and functional dynamics. We discuss how managers are deemed successful, emphasizing people and communication skills, very important. And in the second session, we then talk about the benefits of having a diverse workforce. Embracing differences can result in an employer's competitive advantage through recruiting, hiring, marketing, and increased revenues. We also discuss the effectiveness of frequent manager training as it relates to allaying certain workplace lawsuits while building effective internal employee relationships. Then we dive a little bit deeper when we talk about the legal aspects of management in our third session. Managers are a company's first line of defense and need to understand the importance of an effective risk management program that include enhanced safety, security, and compliance policies, particularly as they apply to our current COVID-19 realities, and could include decision-making elements related to, shall we say, discrimination, harassment, retaliation, and, God forbid, workplace accidents. So effective selection interviewing is our fourth session for this module 1, and employees are considered the most valuable and expensive workplace asset. And so to that end, selecting the very best talent should be deemed an investment in the company's future. We deep dive into the behavioral interviewing process, which has resulted statistically in successful long-term hires through a candidate's demonstration of his or her past performance and experience. Now let us take a look at the second module, which is involving team building. And of course, what we talk about is change management. That's our first session. What is change? What causes change? What influences change? We segue from identifying an individual manager's contributions that we discussed in module 1 to the team development and demonstrate collaborative approaches to a change management scenario within the team paradigm. Then we talk about performance management. This session addresses various performance management process components. It also encompasses functions, methodologies, and of course, metrics. Students are encouraged to share their scenarios from either their current or previous workplace experiences, which usually result in very illustrative comparative discussions, particularly emphasizing elements to specific industries. And of course, we maintain the rule of thumb, and it really shows that one size does not fit all. In the first part of communication dynamics, which is our third session, we talk about the basic aspects of important business skills, and yet communication presents the most workplace challenges. We break down fundamentals through understanding such concepts of business versus social communication, nonverbal communication, communication styles, understanding your audience, and adapting your own style to benefit your desired outcome. In our final communication dynamics session, which is the fourth and final session, we talk about influencing. And this is really our very fun, it's a very, very fun session. Students learn about the influencing model. They talk about another person's point of view, coming as close to a 50% negotiation result as possible. Students demonstrate through a final in-class task solving a bank robbery, in which everyone is highly engaged in this. And so you find out just who the real leaders are in the communication process when you're in a group dynamic. And so with that, this concludes the description of the management and supervision program. And now I'll talk about what the SHRM program is all about. The SHRM certification preparation course naturally evolved out of the Society for Human Resource Management, which is an organization that has been around for more than 60 years. The exam is based on SHRM's BOC, Body of Competency and Knowledge, BOCK. There are 8 behavioral competencies and 15 functional competencies, which are discussed through a 12-week period of time that the students are introduced to. We are very proud at Cal State Dominguez Hills about our passing rates. The national passing rates have been anywhere from 55 to 60%, and the reported results from our students have been anywhere from the high 70s to low 80s. And so we're very, very happy about that. This course also is based on federal laws, US federal laws and regulations. So when you take the course, as we say in California, you're not in California anymore because you're talking about the laws and regulations and the practices that go on from coast to coast in the US. Then the course is designed for people who've been employed in HR for at least 3 years. And the certifications, you have two primary certifications. The CP, it represents those professionals who are engaged primarily in operational roles, implementing policies that exist, serving as the HR point of contact for staff and stakeholders, and or performing day-to-day HR functions. The SHRM SCP represents those professionals at a senior level who operate primarily in more of a strategic role. They're creating or developing policies and strategies, overseeing the execution of HR operations, analyzing performance metrics, and or contributing to the alignment of HR strategies to organizational goals. And as when you enroll and you are participating in our program, you'll understand why I'm always talking about alignment, alignment, alignment. And it's very much a focus of what organizations are all about. Then we have the courses, as I mentioned, it is a 12-week program. And please refer to your information toolkit for specific dates and times, because you are encouraged as a student to enroll, as a registrant, to enroll at least 10 to 14 days prior to the actual start date in order for SHRM to ensure that you receive your hard copy materials directly to you before the starting date or commencement of the first night of class. And so that concludes the session regarding the SHRM. And now I will turn it back over for summary to Jen. Thank you, Jen.
Thank you, Jeanie. So just to summarize our certificate programs, we bring the real world into the classroom. So it's so much fun. We as instructors live this day to day. We're in the industry. So we're actually bringing you things that are happening right now, current real world events, cases that are happening. We will discuss them so you can take this right back to your workplace and be able to implement it. We have a very high educational return on your investment because it goes through the same. You're learning, you're taking it back, so you're growing. And we are compliant, current, and consistent. We have a passion for this. We love to discuss this continuously. As an instructors, we always meet so that we make sure that you have the most compliant and current information and it is consistent. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jen and Jeanie. I think this was fantastic information and we really appreciate your insightful details for the programs. So we're going to come back to our instructors momentarily with the Q&A segment, so sit tight for that. But first, let's take a quick look at the course delivery and registration details. So almost all of the extended education programs are being offered in an online format, which means that students are assigned online access through our campus services. Each student will need login credentials to access our student portal called My CSUDH. This portal includes Blackboard, which is our learning management system, where course content is distributed, Toro Mail, which is our Gmail-based student email system, and of course, the Zoom web conferencing tool. These login credentials, which are your username, email, account, and password, are issued through our registration office approximately 2 to 3 business days after registration in your first course. Now, once you have received your login information, you'll be able to easily access the Toro student portal to connect with your class. Enrollment is available from our extended education registration office Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Now, if you've taken a course at CSU Dominguez Hills in the past 2 years, you may register online using your My CSUDH account. We highly recommend that you register early to make sure that there's space in the course and to allow time for course information and online access to be created and distributed. Payment is due at the time of registration. You can pay for your courses individually or for multiple courses all at once. Now, the federal WIOA, that is Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, provides funding through the California EDD Employment Development Department for qualifying students who are currently unemployed or seeking career training. For more information, please email wioa@csudh.edu or visit our program website for more information. If you need any additional financial assistance, please Google private student loan providers or connect with salliemay.com for student loan details. Again, we recommend that you register at least 1 week before the course begins. Once you've received your login information, you'll be able to easily access the Toro student portal to connect with your class and check your Toro mail and personal emails frequently for special instructions and campus notifications. You'll also want to be sure to test your account access in Blackboard and get comfortable with the layout of the class, such as where to find announcements, Zoom meeting schedules, discussions, and the like. Now, let us know via our academic technology services if you're having any difficulty connecting at all. All right, so now let's get ready for your questions with our instructors. And again, we'll ask that you please use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen to ask your questions. And I'm opening the panel here, and I've noticed that there's a few questions that have come in. Karen Castrillo has a question about the kinds of books that are needed. How can they find the books and where are they located, and what kind of information do they need to have in advance prior to starting the course? So Jeanie and Jen, you're welcome to unmute and give us your feedback.
Thank you. I'll start with it, Jeanie. As far as for the certificate programs, the HR, the business partner, or the management and supervision, there are no books that you need for the course. We provide all the materials for you via our Blackboard, and that's all the PowerPoints or any reading materials that you need. Now, Jeanie, you can talk about the prep course.
Yes, the prep course, SHRM will send to you. There is a volume of about 4 specific books, and they're hard copy. They also, SHRM also will have you access its online tools. And at the time that you register, registration will instruct you as to the procedure in order to gain access to SHRM's online tools, study tools. You will have access to those tools for 18 months from the date that you initially activate your license. It is an 18-month license, which is included in the cost of the materials. So you will get hard copy and you will have online capability. And the hard copy that you receive will also be available online. And when you come into the class, there will be some additional information which will help you navigate through those materials.
Okay, that's excellent. Along those lines, someone else is asking, Donetta is asking, only hard copy, are there ebooks available? Are there other ways to obtain those resources?
If you're talking about the SHRM materials, yes, they are part of the online license access. So whatever you have in hard copy form, you can download those materials and have the ability to, they're portable. You can take them with you. And there are various parts of the online tooling that SHRM has really improved upon in terms of their technology.
Okay. Corey asks, I want to make sure that I heard this correctly. I have to become a member of SHRM before starting the program? Is
No.
membership required?
No, it is not. Anyone who is eligible can sit for the exam and go through the course. Absolutely. You do not have to be a member of SHRM in order to do that.
Okay. Marilyn asks, I really want to start the HR management program, but I am unable to attend the first class due to additional schedule conflicts. Would that be a problem? How does that work if they're unable to attend all of the classes?
So that is not a problem for one missed class. So if you will be missing the first one, I'm actually the instructor for the HR management program. You will receive all my contact information when you register. Make sure you send me an email that you will be missing. And for any missed class, which is only one per session, we will give you a makeup assignment for that class so that you feel that you participated. You'll get the information, we'll give you a makeup and you will do that, and that will make up for that one class. Okay, so no problem.
Cool. Kenneth Bauer asks, I currently work as a safety professional trained at CSUDH. Yay, go Toros. I regularly find work assisting our HR management, which is out of state. This has led me to think I should start working towards my own certification. Basically, he wanting to know, where does he start? How does he go about the process of transitioning into an HR career?
Wow. Take our HR management course.
Well, the great thing is that
Wonderful
safety is under the umbrella of human resources. So you're pretty much already in there. And now with being able to assist, it's a great transition for you to actually start taking the programs here to understand the foundations and the principles.
Absolutely.
And as you're working towards it, you'll see that your assistants in the HR world will be able to lead you right into that career path because you're already going to have the experience, especially because the safety does fall under that same umbrella.
And I would like to add to that, Jen, there is a local organization called PIRA, Professionals in Human Resources Association, which is dedicated to Southern California HR professionals. And becoming a member of PIRA is so helpful in terms of networking and job searches, etc. It is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. And, you know, PIRA.org is, if you go on the website, PIRA, PIHRA.org, you will find some very interesting information, membership information, etc. And it is a wonderful place to start. People of all HR professional levels belong to that organization, and we all help each other, just like our colleagues here, we all help each other.
Absolutely. Brenda asks, for the SHRM certification, do you need to have 3 years of HR experience, or what is the any additional qualifications that are necessary?
You will see in the info toolkit, there is a chart that talks about eligibility to be able to sit for the exam. And so if you, and even SHRM, SHRM.org, they have their entire certification information available. And that chart is also on there. And there are a lot of details available for you on that.
Okay. Another question came in that says, I'm a customer service supervisor. Does that mean that I should be going for the SHRM CP? Is that correct? Or is there a different designation?
When you say customer service supervisor, being in HR is totally customer service oriented because you're dealing with clients. Your clients are all of the employees in your company. So you can start anywhere. And actually, I would also submit that as a part of HR, if you're a customer service supervisor, I would also recommend that if you've done that and if you've worked with HR in any capacity, then you have some knowledge of what your experience has been and what intricate elements are involved with that. And again, to anybody who is looking to get into HR, I would recommend 2 things initially. I would recommend our HR management program. It is the reputation that our program has attained over the years has been stunning. And there's so many students who have graduated from our program, who have completed the program, who have had wonderful opportunities presented to them because of that. And so I would get as much exposure to HR as possible, and then navigate through your career path and become certified, et cetera, et cetera.
We have another question that came in that says, I am a job developer specialist. I'm wondering how much would this certification or certificate, depending on which program they're coming into, how much will that benefit?
Jen, you want to take it in terms of possibly?
Yeah. Well, I mean, in job development, I mean, you're dealing with people, you're dealing with regulations, you're dealing with compliance, you're dealing with policy. So by sitting in these classes and taking them, you're just going to learn how to handle all that so that you can be aware of the legalities and make sure that you don't, fall into any pitfalls. So it's a real great program, to really take for that.
I would also say at this point that the more that you expose yourself to education, and remember that our HR management program, our business partner program, and our management and supervision program, they're all based on practicum, which means this is practical knowledge, practical experience. We deal with the realities of what's going on in today's workforce, in today's businesses. So that's also very helpful because all the students are sharing their current experiences, what's going on. I mean, it's a safe haven to be in the class because you don't have to name the company that you represent, but it's a good thing to share scenarios of what goes on. And then you learn from each other. And we colleagues, we instructors, we continue to share all the time. That's how we learn. That's how we progress as instructors. And we help to, we assist each other. We support each other in those efforts.
Okay. Erica says she is a recent graduate, 2020 alumni.
Congrats, woo!
Congratulations. I'm debating, she says, I'm debating what certificate program to take. Is there a specific certificate program you recommend? I've had very little experience in HR, just onboarding, payroll, interviews, etc. So she feels like she's just getting started.
Yeah, I would say the HR management certificate is the best bet for her right now, especially because she already has a little bit of exposure. She's just getting into it. This will really teach all the principles and the foundation so you can continue to grow your knowledge in the field.
I would like to make one more comment, not one more, but an additional comment to this. And that is with the business partners course. We've had students who have taken both the business partners course. They've been HR professionals, so they've taken the business partners course and the certification prep course. And they have found, we have heard this so many times, that they really are in alignment, that whatever is covered in the business partners, it's like the SHRM course is also kind of, it's almost like a review. The business partners course, of course, will dive deeper into certain areas because they're not studying for an exam. And that's the main thing I also want to mention here. This SHRM prep course is exactly that. You are preparing to take an exam. This is not a course for the purpose of learning HR. You learn HR from Jen and company, and then once you've had some experience under your belt, then you come over to the prep course. But until you've had that experience, you really need to have that knowledge. And so going with our HR management, the foundation course, then into the business partners course, and then couple that by acquiring a position in HR in some kind of function for at least 3 years, you'll be in a perfect position to come into and take the SHRM exam. Absolutely.
Excellent. And speaking of academic side, someone who was recently graduated, now to a question from someone who is interested. Giselle says, can these courses be used as actual college credits towards a degree?
Oh.
So that's a little bit different.
That not for college credit necessarily. I will leave it to one of our wonderful experts, you know, in the front office for that. But
Right.
I will tell you that our courses are eligible for, once you become certified, they are continuing education units to maintain your credentials, your certificates, certifications on active status. So it's great. Even though, let's say you take the course now, remember, we always do our best to remain current. So what you learn in 2020, you're not going to hear the exact same thing in 2021 because times change. COVID really impacted, you know, that for everybody. Right. So things change and requirements change and the businesses have changed. So Jen, why don't you go ahead and kind of dovetail?
Well, I just got confirmation that this does not give college credit. So no, but you know, it's great to keep yourself recertified because yes, we are constantly changing from month to month as things go. What I was teaching 6 years ago is not the same thing that I'm teaching now. And even as the courses go through, we might be in, and sometimes we revisit a class because something changed and we want to make sure that, you know, you're kept abreast of it.
Right. And something to add on as well, this is a part of our extended education course collection. And that means that any completion that you're doing with our extended ed unit includes a digital credential. So you do get a digital badge that you can share online via social media, on your LinkedIn profile, and so on. So we do need people to be aware that even though it's not an academic credit, those CEUs are just as important when you're going into career fields where they want proof that you have the experience, that you know what the backgrounds are and the foundation for that industry. So this is absolutely vital and critical. And along those same lines, speaking of looking into career fields, Gladys wants to know, what are some of the HR roles that these certificates will help with? We see a lot of different titles. If you do a job search, you see a lot of different things. What kinds of titles are they going to see that this background will help them get into?
Wow, Gladys, that is a great question. But just like I mentioned in the presentation, it's a huge umbrella under human resources. Right. And these certificates really help you in all levels because we're covering everything. You need foundations, you need to understand policies, you understand the business. In the end, it's really where you want to gear yourself to. I mean, you have the manager, the generalist, the safety that we talked about earlier, training and development, talent acquisition. There's just so much that goes under. So really it's up to you. The certificate's going to help you because you're going to learn, you know, just continue to teach yourself and educate yourself is only going to promote you more. So it's going to help you no matter where you go, but it's up to you to know what path you want to take and what is open to you within your organization.
I would add one more caveat to that, and that is, please understand that many times the titles, even though that you see a great, impressive title, it's always about the functionality. That's why when we talk about HR, we're talking about the competencies, the body of competency and knowledge. And that's not just in SHRM, that's universally within the HR context. So remember, really, when you look at ads for jobs or job postings or anything like that, make sure that you really do your due diligence and understand what the job description is. That's why job descriptions are so critical in companies, because it really describes the essential functions of those jobs. That's why the job exists. It's the essential functions that are a reason why the job exists.
Okay. We have an anonymous attendee who says they do not have any HR experience or education. They're taking a leap of faith and changing their career path from mental health counselor to HR. They're unsure what they want to focus on. So they're not sure if they should take HR management or business partner, or is there any additional advice?
Go ahead, Jen.
Well, I mean, so again, human resources have different umbrellas. And as this has transitioned over the years, right now, mental health in the workplace is really huge.
Absolutely.
especially with everything that just happened. And so it is a big promoter. So I think you should take a leap of faith and take our HR management certificate to get the foundations and start working yourself in there, because the next step in human resources is having like either a psychology background or a mental health background to be able to fit that role. So good timing to take that leap of faith, I would say. Anything else, Jeanie, you want to add?
No, you hit it all. You covered all the nooks and crannies within that, because I was going to say, and I'll just, echo what you just did. COVID-19 brought out a forced pause to look at ourselves and a forced pause to look at our businesses. And we need to really reflect what worked, what didn't work. And if it's given every one of you an opportunity to say, hey, I need to explore something else in my life. And that's one of the results of COVID-19. So look at it as a positive and go from there. And really, when you're exploring, our program really presents, our HR management program really presents really solid foundational information for you, so that you can be exposed to all aspects of what it is to being in the practice of HR. And you'll get it's like a taste of HR. And it's just, you'll find it to be a very great experience, truly.
Okay. And just kind of circling back to the classes, this is one of our last questions that we have here. We know that schedule changes and all of these things, conflicts can cause problems. So how does it work with the schedule in terms of if you start the program, but you're unable to complete in that term? Joanne asks, what do I do if I have, during the course, a conflict scheduled due to work? Can I refund my registration, or should I take another session? Can I jump into another term, and so on? What is the approach on that?
Well, Joanne, no worries. Based on not on Jeannie's SHRM, she'll go into that, but I mean, as far as the certificate programs, you can take that in different semesters. If you started in the spring and you can't finish it, you can continue in the summer with the next session. You do have to complete the 4 classes, but then you can stop and re-pick it up somewhere else. So if something happens in your schedule, you can always take it at a different session. Jeanie?
SHRM operates a little differently, but what you have available is the informational toolkit that was discussed at the beginning of this session. So please download that information that has all of the details to fully answer your question. With respect to SHRM, life happens. Life does happen. And so again, your information toolkit will provide the answers, for all of the courses that are available, that we offer.
Okay. Well, Jeanie, Jen, you guys have done a fantastic job of answering all of these great questions. We really appreciate you taking the time to deep dive into the program with us. And at this point, we've covered quite a bit of information. So I'm going to jump back into our slides real quick and just give us a little follow-up. So we want to make sure you guys all know what your next steps should be in order to get into the the human resource management programs. Just in case you missed anything, if you have any follow-up questions, feel free to email us at learn@csudh.edu or call us during our business hours at 310-243-2075 and let us know whatever questions you have. And when you're ready to register and take those next steps, please call our Extended Education Registration Office at 310-243-3741 and wait for option number 1. And remember, if you've been a student with us previously within the last 2 years at CSUDH, simply log into your My CSUDH portal to go ahead and register online. And now we have the conclusion of our program. So we want to thank you for joining us today. Again, feel free to connect with us. Let us know on our website, on our social media, our Facebook, our LinkedIn groups. If you have any questions or any resources to share, anything, we build and foster a really strong community. Our instructors are fantastic. They work really well with their students, and they continue to grow that community within the HR practices. So we appreciate them very much. Remember to get registered early, get your spot in your preferred classes. And we're going to stay here in this session for just a few minutes more to give everyone a moment to jot down any last minute notes, download the HR information kit from the chat panel, and follow up with any last details. The recording for this session is already live on our YouTube channel and will be available online shortly on our website as well. We'd love to get your feedback on today's session, so please let us know how we can improve the quality of the information provided by visiting bit.ly/CSUDH-webinar-feedback. And you'll also be taken to the link at the end of this session, and it'll also be provided in a follow-up email. So when you're ready to leave, simply click the red leave button in the corner of your screen. Once again, we thank you for joining us. Stay safe, and we look forward to seeing you in class. Have a good day, everybody.